So guys, before we start this Q&A, I just want to warn you, I have the worst cold in the world. Today, my voice kind of came back a little bit, so I'm jumping on my computer, recording the Q&A for you before I inevitably lose the voice again when the cold medicine wears off. And then also, I wanted to explain to you guys the rules for the second Q&A that I'm going to be doing. So, as I've said, I want to do 2 Q&As for you guys. One Q&A is for story discussions and the future of the franchise, and the other Q&A is for multiplayer questions, because I know some of you guys are more into Halo for the multiplayer. So, basically, if you guys want to ask a multiplayer-related question, which will show up on the multiplayer Q&A later this week, I'm hoping to maybe do it Friday. What do you think? We can have the the Halo Direct, franchise direction Q&As every Monday, and then we can have the multiplayer Q&As every Friday. So basically, just say like multiplayer Q&A or just Halo Q&A, because it's a more just generally Halo-related question. So that's how we're going to do this, guys. You see, if you want your thing answered on the Halo Q&A, you just say Halo Q&A, and then if you want your thing answered on the multiplayer Q&A, do multiplayer Q&A. Okay, so the multiplayer Q&A will be this Friday. I'll be answering your multiplayer questions, and the Halo in general Q&As will be every Monday. So, some of you guys who are just joining, the rules are actually very simple. All you have to do is leave your Halo-related questions in the comment section below, and they may get answered next week. Now, sadly, I can't get to every single one. That's just unfortunate because I want to condense these into like less than 20 minutes each video and stuff, but hopefully having 2 Q&As will be able to branch out how many questions I can answer. And also, I am going to stream more regularly on Twitch, so you guys are free to ask your questions there. In the description below are links that you can contact me at if you have questions that you just want to be answered ASAP. Reach me at any of the links down below. So, without further ado, let's start this Q&A with a question from Indian Baller, who says, Q&A, I think it is a good thing you are doing 2 Q&As. I'm new to the channel and it is awesome. I'm just wondering what controller settings you use. Also, what did you think about Halo 3 ODST? We don't talk much on this channel from what I've seen. So thank you so much for your compliments, man. And the controller settings I actually use in Halo 5 are the default. I'm hoping to kind of transition over to Hell Jumper, but it's really strange pressing right bumper to throw grenades in a Halo game, and then also the stick for melee. That's very weird for me, that concept. I've tried it a few times, and I'm really not good with it. I've actually tried bumper jumper, because in the previous Halo games, I actually like to run bumper jumper, and pressing the stick to zoom in Halo 5 feels very weird. So, I don't know, I'm trying to make the transition over to Hell Jumper. And, I'm sorry about that. So what do I think about Halo 3 ODST? Well, Halo 3 ODST I like quite a bit, and it's disappointing that it's kind of forgotten as much as it is. I mean, definitely, I remember back in the day when Halo 3 ODST first came out, people hated it. Like, people despised it. And now it's kind of like years later, it's gotten more of a cult following as a Halo game, and I'm actually happy to see that because I was one of the people who hated Halo 3 ODST at launch. I thought it was just kind of like shallow as a Halo game. I didn't think it was worth it. So just for this one, for this question here, I know it's a multiplayer related question, but just until we get the Halo multiplayer Q&As going, I'm going to be answering it right now on this one. So Eric Cantu says, Halo Q&A, do you think Halo 5's UI is shitty? I think it is. Why can't I see the medals that I got, see how many AI I killed, mute specific players, check their progress, or see what team I'm in? So Eric, I completely agree with you. Halo 5's UI is probably the worst UI I've seen in the Halo game, and definitely I think it's one of the worst UIs I've seen in a shooter in quite some time, because Halo 5's UI is not only, I think, very rough and kind of simplistic, it almost feels like it's a very, it almost feels like it's an outline for something better, but the thing is, this is our UI. You know, there's many features missing, it's very buggy and very unstable. You know, I'm thinking the rec system, how sometimes it just straight up will say retrieving recs forever and you'll never be able to see them, you know, and it'll force you to restart the game. Like, the Halo 5 UI is pretty rough. And honestly, the reason I think it is this bad is because I think 343 put a lot of effort into the Halo 4 UI, and Halo 4 has a pretty good UI. But what I think happened was just because of how bad Halo 4 was received by the community, the multiplayer side of things, I think for Halo 5, honestly, 343 was like, oh my gosh, like, don't put that much effort into the UI. They're not going to like it anyway. So it's more like Halo 5 is 343 testing the water. In fact, that's why I think Halo 5 is missing as much as it is. You know, why it feels so small as a Halo game is because I feel like it's 343 not wanting to put in as much effort for fear, you know, that all that will go to waste, kind of like it did with Halo 4. Because with Halo 4, say what you will about the game, whether you enjoyed it or not, a lot of effort went into the game. There were tons of multiplayer modes. The campaign was nice, it was long, it had really detailed cutscenes and stuff. You had Spartan Ops as a co-op mode, you had all these unlocks and challenges. Lots of effort went into Halo 4 as a game, and it was pretty much rejected by the Halo community. So naturally, I think it's like, well, crud, like, don't put, like, let's not put as much effort into this game, because what if they just don't like it anyways? We don't want all our work put to waste. Which is, that's pretty disappointing that a Halo game would settle for something like that. Obviously, that's just a theory on why the UI is the way it is. Hopefully, with Halo 6, the UI will be better, because we've kind of spoken up about how bad the Halo 5 UI is, and how we like Halo 5's multiplayer. And we want better. So, we're going to move on to Maximum Random, who says, "Hey, Late Night Gaming, I wanted to hear your opinions of my ideas to a thoroughly improved Warzone. Number 1, there needs to be random objectives or events throughout the battle. Here's some examples I came up with. Marine spawns with a bomb and the friendly team needs to escort him to a capture point while the enemies need to eliminate the Marine. If the destination is reached, the base is immediately taken over. Covenant dropships arrive and release reinforcements. These coveys capture all capture points, and both teams have to fight over them again. Number 2, unique rec cards that may enhance the fight. Airstrikes that you can call in and may kill a few baddies. An elephant or scarab that can be dropped off to use in combat. Cough, cough. Falcons. Cough, cough. Then we're going to go on to number 3. There must be better bosses rather than just bullet sponges. Here are a few ideas of mine. An elite general dual-wielding energy swords. He can block and has different swings and lunges, and has the usual backup coveys. A Promethean soldier that somehow has Spartan abilities and UNSC power weapons. He can hijack any vehicle nearby easily, so stay back. So what do you think? Do you have any more ideas on the topic? So, Maximum, I think all of your ideas are absolutely fantastic. We're going to discuss your first ones about random objectives. We're actually seeing with Warzone Firefight, 343 is introducing the ideas of dynamic objectives that change every round, and I definitely think that Warzone can benefit from just random encounters or something. I'm thinking of maybe you're playing Escape from Ark, and then suddenly, you know, Palmer comes in over the radio, like, we've got a slip space portal opening up. You know, oh my gosh, you have to activate these generators to shut it down before it arrives, and if you fail to do the objective, the map gets swarmed with crawlers, or something like that, you know? Something that kind of changes up the map and kind of creates scenarios where, in a lot of ways, you're kind of forced to work with the other team to stop it, because if you don't stop it, it'll kind of ruin the entire match for everyone. You know, some kind of dynamic objectives. And for your rec cards and stuff, I do think that things, unique recs could work, like the Falcon and stuff, or, you know, a Scarab. Airstrikes, I think, are a little bit much, although what I do think could work is maybe you can jump into a Falcon for a certain amount of time or something. I'm thinking of, like, Battlefield. You know how you can get into the AC-130s in Battlefield 4, and you can kind of just drop bombs around the map and stuff. Kind of like you could jump into the gunner seat of a Falcon, and you could just kind of shred up parts of the map with the Falcon, and obviously it'll be on rails, it'll be flying like a certain path, and once that path is done, then you'll be transported back down to the ground, or you'll jump right out of the Falcon and just land right back into the battle. Something like that. In fact, in a lot of ways, I hope that 343 looks to the Battlefield series for inspiration on how to handle Warzone, because I think Battlefield 4 is like the best example of how to do large-scale warfare out there on, the market right now. And Battlefield 4 has quite a few good ideas. And so your ideas for the better bosses, I agree with you. I think there needs to be much better bosses. Darkstar, the new Warzone map, oh gosh, what's it called? Skirmish at Darkstar. It actually has a few interesting bosses, like you have to fight a Mantis, you have to fight a soldier who's stolen a Warthog, and, yeah, the boss fights are really easy, but it's different. It's something different, and it's actually kind of fun, the Mantis boss fight. So, we're going to go on to the Red Hoodie, who says, Q&A. On your stream, I asked you if you were any good at Forge, and you responded saying you were pretty good at it. Watching the Forge channels now and trying to get inspiration works for me, but I can never seem to fit the scale, size, and feel of the maps I tried to create. Could you give any advice to a Forger trying to make some YouTube-worthy maps? So here is some advice for you, the Red Hoodie, and some of you else who just want to Forge. What helps me sometimes when I'm creating a map is, honestly, looking at already existing Halo maps for inspiration. So right now I'm actually currently making a map that is very loosely inspired by Empire and also the Pit from Halo 3. And so what I usually do before I begin forging is I will draw out my designs for my maps. I will usually try to include possible sight lines, weapon spawns and stuff, and even possible skill jumps. Just take a piece of paper and draw out a rough outline of what you want your map to look like. And obviously for each room on the map, I will say this room will be kind of like a boiler room. This room will be kind of like a computer room. I'll try to give a general description of what the art style should be like for different rooms. And then what you need to do is you need to first make a very simple, very blocky interpretation of what your map's going to look like in Forge. So before you begin decorating it or anything, just do the general layout, alright? Do the general layout, don't worry if it looks ugly yet. Decorations are the last part. So once you have the general layout, play it with some friends a few times, play test it, and once you feel like it's working well, then you go in and you begin decorating it. Another idea that helps quite a lot, going back to me talking about taking inspiration from already existing maps, try to the best of your ability recreating probably your favorite Halo map. Alright, like from scratch. So I'm thinking of something like, if you really like the Pit, make the Pit in Halo 5 as best as you can, and then after you finish the map, your perfect recreation of the Pit, then begin editing it and changing it and stuff and morphing it into your version of the Pit, a map inspired by the Pit in terms of design. So I hope that helps a little bit. I know that Halo 5's Forge can be very intimidating because it's a lot more advanced than previous Forges, and whether that's good or bad, that's really up to you, but I personally love Halo 5's Forge. So we're going to go on to Thomas Dobbins, who says, Q&A, I am newer to your channel, and I just want to say I love these Q&As. Thank you for them. Great job and keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I am wondering if 343 will bring back the squad system used in Halo 5 for Halo 6. I feel like it would be odd to just forget the characters of Halo 5 and go back to just Master Chief. I did not care for how unhelpful the AI were, but I really would like Vale and Locke to come back in Halo 6 to flesh them out. My guess is if they keep the squad of Halo 4, or if they keep the squad of 4, it will most likely be Master Chief, Locke, Arbiter, and Buck, due to him being a fan favorite, although I want Vale. What do you think about the squad system coming back, and who do you want to see come back from Halo 5? So I don't think we will see the squad system return. I think the community has been very vocal that they do not like the squad system, and that it was an interesting idea, but ultimately it failed. You know, the concept was not executed well, and we don't care for it. You know, we want a traditional Halo campaign. And what I think will happen with Halo 6 is, I think that if they're smart, they will follow the Halo 3 route of Player 1 plays as Master Chief, Player 2, you know, does a different character, and how I feel it will be is I feel that we will play as, you know, Player 1 is Master Chief, Player 2 is Locke, Player 3 is Arbiter. You know, if playable elites are a thing, please make them a thing. And the fourth one, I'm not too sure about. I was thinking Sarah Palmer just because, I mean, I don't know, you know, Palmer's a character. But, you know, and then on top of that, I also think the community really does not like Fireteam Osiris. We really don't like any of the characters. Vale seems to be the closest to an interesting character just because she can speak Sangheili, the language of the elites. But ultimately, you know, as a whole, Fireteam Osiris, nobody really likes them, and I think the community does not want to see them return. So what I suspect will happen is, we'll see Blue Team and Fireteam Osiris in Halo 6, but after, you know, this whole Cortana is a Forerunner God saga kind of ends, I think Fireteam Osiris will just kind of like be slowly swept under the rug and never mentioned again as characters. So I don't know who the fourth one is going to be. I don't think it's going to be Buck, just because Nathan Fillion is a famous actor and stuff. You know, he probably, deadlines and all of that, you know, getting scheduling and stuff might be difficult with him. I already know that it was pretty difficult to get Nathan Fillion in for Halo 5. I don't know, you know, it's hard to say who the fourth player is going to be, in my personal opinion. And so, guys, we're going to end this Q&A with a question from It's Time to Stop, who says, Q&A, what are you expecting from the Memories of Reach update? Also, I love the content you are creating. So thank you, It's Time to Stop. What I'm expecting from the Memories of Reach update is I am expecting, well, Infection, as we know that's coming. I'm also expecting all of the Noble Armors. What I'm also expecting, obviously I don't think this will be the case, but I am hoping that we will see a throwback Reach gun, maybe something like the Reach DMR, although I greatly prefer the Halo 5 DMR to the Reach DMR. You know, the Reach DMR was pretty much all skill with that thing was killed because of the weapon bloom, but I'm hoping that we see some kind of throwback weapon to Reach. Who knows, maybe the plasma rifle will make a return in this next update, because we do know the plasma rifle will be coming back to Halo 5, so I don't know, it's hard to say. And then also, you know, there's that Hogwild update, which, you know, Memories of Reach speaks for itself. We're gonna get a Reach update, but Hogwild, you know, what could that be? I'm thinking maybe it'll be Race, but yeah. With Memories of Reach, I'm expecting a throwback weapon, Infection, all the armors from the Noble team, and possibly, maybe, a Reach map. I know that we're going to be getting a remix of Torque, which is, it looks like it's snow, like it looks like it's covered in snow, which that's cool, you know, a snow-themed arena map. We don't really have any of those in Halo 5, so I don't know, you know, it's hard to say, really, because 343 seems to be surprising me a lot. You know, I said the plasma rifle isn't coming back. Sure enough, it's coming back. I said we probably won't see Firefight or, like, a Horde-based game mode at any point. Sure enough, Warzone Firefight's coming. So, you know, I don't want to say anything, because chances are I might be completely wrong, but So guys, before I go, I want to direct your attention to True Scottish Gamer HD. This is the brilliant man who explained to me the difference between cosmetic DLC and full-out microtransactions. He's the one who explained to me that microtransactions are anything, regarding random number generators, where small cosmetics such as a gold skin for your assault rifle, that's just cosmetic DLC. This is the man who explained it to me. And he is a very passionate Halo YouTuber. He has a brilliant Scottish accent, and you guys can go check him out if you want to. His link will be in the description below. So guys, thank you so much for asking all of your questions. If you guys have any questions that you want answered, leave them down below. And if you guys have any questions that you just want to be answered ASAP, you don't care if it's on a video or not, check the link down below for links to my Twitter, Facebook, Gamertag, and Twitch, I think. Did I leave Twitch out? Yeah, no. I'm sick, guys. I'm going. Yeah, but if you guys want to reach out to me, check the links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.